Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Red Jacks on podcast with me, Rick.
Me, Charlie.
Me, Fraser.
And me, Sirhan. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I thought you knew that.
All right.
I was waiting
Oh,
for you.
no.
Yes.
Oh, no.
All right, boys. So this week, I thought we'll do something a little bit similar to what we did last time, and we're going to talk about Spider-Man, specifically across the Spiderverse. So Into the Spiderverse 2, specifically, because the second one's dropping in June 2nd. So I think it's like a little over 2 weeks away. So I thought we'll give ourselves a little refresher, talk about the first one, get some hype going, see what we all think, and then we'll get into the second one, and then
That's a good one, because I think we was talking about like doing poddies about upcoming things, and I think that for us is one of the more upcoming things. So yeah, good shout, Rick.
It makes sense, right? Like, it's Marvel, it's Spider-Man, it's a fucking amazing film. So
Top tier film. Yeah.
And we've all seen it.
I'm excited for this. I love this film. Let's do it.
Right, so just to get into it, for any listeners who have not seen the first movie, bitten by a radioactive spider in the subway, Brooklyn teenager Miles Morales suddenly develops mysterious powers that transform him into the one and only Spider-Man. When he meets Peter Parker, he soon realizes that there are many others who share his special high-flying talents. All I hear is Sirhan, his effects in the background.
I wanted to be the background. I'm sorry.
Spider-Man theme.
I'm stopping. I'm so sorry.
That's all going to be monetized.
That's it. That's gone.
It'll be monetized for a
newfound
completely
skill.
wrong song.
Yeah. Harry Potter theme song.
So Miles must now use his newfound skills to battle the evil Kingpin, a hulking madman who can open portals to other universes and pull different versions of Spider-Man into our world.
Different
Now,
versions.
we've all seen it. The first movie. What did you think?
That's a 10 out of 10. 100%.
One of the best.
Even the
pieces of media
trailer. Yeah.
for
100%.
Spider-Man.
Even when the trailer dropped, it was just like, okay, this style is already incredible. Even if the story wasn't great, that art was just worth going to the cinema for anyway. And then the story was fucking awesome, and it was like, this is the Spider-Man movie that we've basically been waiting for, and we got it in the best way. It was so great.
Yeah, like
What
what
about
would
you,
you
Fraser?
even call that art style? Because it's not even quite cell shaded, but cartoony, but obviously
No,
3D. It's
mean,
definitely unique,
it's
isn't
like-
it?
It's got so
Yeah.
many layers. Like there was a Corridor Crew breakdown of it, and it's
Oh.
insane. Like, but they've basically patterned it, like
Yeah.
because it's a whole different style of animation, and now other places like want to use it and stuff.
That's
And
crazy.
they've like made it into an actual CG programming. Yeah, it's
more like
wicked.
it's like a
Yeah.
hybrid kind of animation that they've done. Like, some of it's computer generated, and then it's been polished by hand every single frame. But
Mhm.
we'll get into like the actual animation side of it in a
That's
bit.
the way to
Yeah.
do it. But yeah, it's definitely one of the best
What do you think,
pieces of
Brave?
Spider-Man media to come out in recent years, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Spider-Man's had its ups and downs. It's been a pretty solid comic book run, I think. But yeah, in terms of media, especially being part of Marvel media, it's been a bit hit and miss, you know. And for Sony to produce it as well, it just kind of solidifies their take on the Marvel universe. I think because of that,
Yeah.
you know, like they're gonna hang on to Spider-Man, aren't they, in terms of rights?
Yeah, I think that was a
I mean,
game changer for Sony, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like,
pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
They found a working formula.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's amazing film.
I honestly, best Spider-Man film that exists. I would. I'm gonna do a Charlie. Fight me on it. Fight me. I don't care what you say. I know each Spider-Man film came at a really good time. Like, no one could take away like Sam Raimi's Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, because that was the first, like, it's on screen and it worked. And you looked at that person from best Spider-Man, and everything kind of came off of that. It was a really nice development. And I know there's pros and cons and whatnot, but for me, Spider-Verse was the first Spider-Man film I'd watched in how many odd years? Even if it came out how many odd years ago? I was in my 20s when it came out. I watched the previous Spider-Man films when I was a teenager onwards, and obviously the cartoons and the comics that I read when I was a kid. And Spider-Verse for me, after like a lot of my adult life, I felt like a kid again. Like I felt like Spider-Man. It gave me that feeling that I hadn't had in years. That feeling of holding onto a toy and being like, I am web swinging around the freaking kitchen right now. Like, so for me, personal favorite, but I would argue that it's probably one of, it's not, if not the best Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not even like it's the typical Peter Parker story either. It goes its own way with Miles Morales. And bringing his take and modernizing it a bit as well, making it more appealing, I guess.
Yeah, I think like telling like the Miles side of the Spider-Man story, it gives it a completely different flavor because we've already had 3 different movie versions of Spider-Man where it's always Peter Parker and then, you know, Uncle Ben dies, and we've seen that story so many times, but seeing it from Miles's point of view and the whole different side of Spider-Man, I think it just adds a different flavor to it. But yeah, man, completely agree with all of you. Like, I think it is. I mean, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. It is the best Spider-Man film I think I have ever seen across Tom Holland's movies and who directed the Tom Holland movies? John Watts.
What?
So John
Oh,
Watts
you're right.
movies,
Yeah, of course.
and then Sam Raimi's Tobey Maguire movies. All that. This is by far the best Spider-Man iteration they have ever created. Like from the animation to the story to the soundtrack, like even just like the basic feel of the movie, you feel that struggle from Miles' side, like, you know, that him learning to become Spider-Man, because you don't really get a lot of that in the other movies. Spider-Man is kind of already Spider-Man in a way. You get like a brief sort of training sequence or whatever, where a quick little montage of him becoming it, but then he's quickly Spider-Man. But a lot of this movie is kind of focused on Miles becoming that hero. It gives you that same feeling like that, you know, that get back up, the Spider-Man doesn't quit kind of thing, that bravery. That's what Spider-Man's always about.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's top tier film.
I mean, the original comic is quite similar. It's not as into the Spider-Verse, but it has the crossover with the original Spider-Man, I believe. And he's like, "Oh my God, you're dead in my universe," and it was like kind of similar. And that story was actually really dope. And so they kind of stuck to a really nice part of that story, but then gave even more with just like, no, but this is like the entire, you know, you're going to get a load of different ones. It's not just going to be this one little thing. In this movie, you're going to get a freaking Nicolas Cage version. Like, it was so dope. Such a great idea.
Cage, it was a great casting for Spider-Man Noir.
Yeah.
He was perfect. He nailed it. All right, so we touched on it a little bit already, but the animation for the film, because I think it deserves its own praise. So, what did you think? What did you think? Like, what do you think sets it apart from like every other Spider-Man film that you've seen, or most kind of comic-y sort of films that had to try that comic sort of effect, but it doesn't really work? Why do you think it worked for this?
That scene where Peter Parker is teaching Miles how to swing, and they're running away from Doc Ock. I think we all know this already because we've probably all seen the videos on it and stuff. But obviously, for the listeners, they done it as 2 separate entities and meshed them together, and they were running at different frame rates. And they started to sync up the frame rates so that they started swinging together. And that's a whole different ball game. You're playing with 2 complete different files, complete different, like, you know, like projects. And just the idea of that, to me, I mean, to all of us, I think it was just so nerdily exciting. Just because it was so weird to watch, because you're kind of watching it like, it is weird because Miles is definitely moving slower than Peter, but he's not in slow motion. But there's like something weird, and then it just starts to catch him. That, I mean, that's how much intent they put behind every scene. I think, like, if you were to pause that film at any point, you're getting a screen grab, like a full-on HD wallpaper for that movie. You know, like every single scene, every single shot is like, top-notch quality. It's wicked. It is probably the best Spider-Man film.
Yeah.
Debatable, but yeah, I think as far as rewatching it, I could rewatch that Spider-Man more than I could rewatch any of the other Spider-Man films. Not saying it's the one that I came out the cinema swinging around the kitchen to, like Zahan. I think Tobey Maguire will always be that for me, because I was a kid and it was the first. But yeah, no, Spider-Verse, man. Yeah, the animation is just insane.
Yeah, that's where animation just has that upper hand, because there are things you can accomplish when you're animating a character or animating a scene and filming it that you can't do with live action, or you could try, but it will look weird. You know, you got to get camera angles, you got to rely on CG. Whereas when you're animating, you can be a bit goofy with it. You don't have to follow human limitations. And yeah, even messing with the frame rates, like I bet that would just look really strange if that was live action. You know, No Way Home, try to get
yeah, that would be good.
Tobey Maguire's trying to show Tom Holland how to swing.
That would be so memeable. Oh my god.
Yeah. But yeah, absolutely, like from start to finish, even with facial expressions and things like that, it really helps you connect with the characters. Like you can really follow Miles's story, what he goes through, his inner turmoil, which is, you know, it's much different from Peter Parker's, because he's already got that introduction to like what justice is and things like that, because obviously his dad's a police officer.
Yeah.
So I think he kind of goes in knowing what he's got to do and the whole power and responsibility thing. It's just like you say, Rikesh, he's got to learn how to be Spider-Man and how to physically like use his power for good.
Yeah.
And mentally, like
Mentally,
you know, getting over that first big jump. I love that idea as well. Like that whole bit, you know, you got to take the leap. Yeah, because that would be the most terrifying thing.
Yeah.
To trust that you're not gonna just die. You know, you're Spider-Man.
Yeah, I first thought about that in the Spider-Man game, the PS4 game, because I think he says something like, yeah, he goes up to the Empire State. He went up to the Empire State Building just to sort of like help with his fear of heights or get used to being at heights, because it's not something you think about. It's not like you just get superpowers and you're used to it.
Yeah, you've still got your inner anxieties and fears. Like at the end of the day, if you're scared of spiders and you got bit by a spider and you become Spider-Man, you might be scared of yourself. You know, you don't know.
True. I think the animation is like a combination of what everyone said, like even what Charlie was pointing out with like the difference of frame rates. And I know they played on those types of techniques throughout all. So like the artistic style was something that they kind of patterned themselves. And I was kind of looking into it. It was like motion smearing, as it was sort of in the 30s and 40s of cartoon, brought more to the digital age, combined with a bit of CGI and handwork, like hand drawings, and all of that combined. And those make an art style. That's the presentation. But like the frame rate difference is like a choice. That's an artistic choice that you do. And it almost sounds counterintuitive. And like Fraser was saying, things work in animation that wouldn't work in live action. Because I think no matter what, we're so well informed when it comes to this sort of stuff that even if they get CGI to a point where it is like you cannot tell if it is real or not. Like you look at like the latest Avatar that came out, and I literally believe that there's a blue person standing there at this stage. My mind goes, but it's not. You know, my mind always kind of know it's not though. It's close, but it's not. It's always going to be 99%. Where animation can be 100% because it can look like something 80, 90%, but the brain will always fill in that gap, and you just make it believable because you go, it's a cartoon, it's animation. So within this world, that's exactly what that character looks like. You know, they've only got 3 crease lines on their face, for example, or this or that. So it all sounded a bit like I said, a bit counterintuitive, but I loved it. And literally, as you guys said, like I think I've had the phone on my the film on my phone and just screenshot, and every single shot, I'm like, oh my god, background, wallpaper, anything and everything. But I think what I liked the most about the animation wasn't necessarily just the look, was the fact that they could have got everything right, but it could have looked a bit cheesy or overly comic booky. Like I still took it seriously. It wasn't just like someone hit someone and be like wham, and you're like, oh, okay, it's for comedic effect or just to be sort of more original or comic booky. And the reason I say this is like the difference of like that scene where Peter and Miles are running away from those agents, and he throws, and obviously that well-known joke where he throws the bagel, and it's like bagel, and you get the bagel mark, and then you laugh if you notice it. But then there's the bit where Miles, I think I can't remember what stage, but it's we know when his spider sense kicks off, and the film just goes quiet, and then the word just boom, just danger pops up behind him.
Yeah.
That is very comic booky. It could have been very not as serious, but you took it so seriously, even though it was playing with animation that's quite lighthearted. It was a very serious animation, if that makes sense. So it was it found that balance very well, that I enjoyed it, but took it seriously when it needed to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
like
fair.
I can imagine that kind of thing coming up in something like Scott Pilgrim or Kick-Ass or something like that.
Yeah.
And you would take that as like a jokey moment. Whereas when you're watching Spider-Man, you know, that's that universe, and you get absorbed into that.
Yeah, you
Like,
kind of accept it as it is, and like you said, Scott Pilgrim leans into the quirkiness of it, and it works for it because of it.
Yeah.
But this leaned into it constantly, and it fed every type of mood that it needed to fill.
They're very different styles. Scott Pilgrim kind of animation obviously is like a hybrid of like real people and animated scenes and everything, but with this, like that scene that you mentioned, where like he first gets his powers, and he's standing there, and that scene kicks off where he's got that giant watch out thing, like his spider sense tingling. When you watch that scene, there's like music in the background, there's like build up to it, and then everything just drops dead silent, and you just get that flash, no sound, no nothing. You just get that flash of watch out on the screen, and it kind of makes you jump and like oh shit, what the fuck is that? But it still stays so quiet. Just kind of like a very good mimic of what I imagine this spider sense would be like.
Or the feeling of it.
Yeah, like just that quick kind of oh shit, what the fuck is that? And then he just ducks real quick. Yeah, there's definitely things that animation can do that obviously you just cannot do in real CGI kind of things. And with this, I think it's definitely paid off. Like the style that they've chosen for the theme of the movie, it just fits so perfectly, and everything just goes. Nothing feels out of place. You're never like, oh, that was a weird scene, or that didn't look right. Like every single frame of the movie is spot on. It's actually amazing.
And the character design, like Miles is adorable. He is drawn so well that you instantly just love his little face. He is so cute, and I think that's probably why they have that first shot of him on the bed with the headphones, because you're like, oh, look at him, like, oh, he's so cute. I love him. And like Peter Parker being like this kind of chubby guy, you know, with like the stubble and stuff. Yeah, even the character design is, and Fisk. The size of Fisk, and again, you couldn't get away with that in live action because he would look stupid. It would make sense, but he's literally just a square, and it's terrifying. He's a force. Yeah, no, everything they did as far as like the drawing and the animation and stuff, and the kind of mechanics that they threw in with the whole bagel and pow and whatever. Even though it's comedy, it is a mechanic that they continue to use in the darker, deeper times. Like it's man. The more you point out about this film, the more it just solidifies its place in like your tier list. You know what I mean? It's like, or just climbs even higher if it isn't already at the top. It's really good. Everything you guys were saying, I was just like, oh my god, there's so much more to it.
Another thing, like the colors and filters they're able to use as well. It doesn't jar you, it doesn't throw you out like in the final scenes when they're fighting Fisk
that's a good
in
point.
the machine, and it's throwing out all these funky colors, and there's stuff flying everywhere all over the screen. And
it's not messy, you can see it. And do you know what, if you compare that to like if you compare that to like No Way Home, when you've got the 3 Spider-Men swinging around and fighting in that final scene, if you could, that's shot in the dark. You can barely see what Spider-Man you're looking at a lot of the time. They do highlight them when they can, but you know, if you were to just, as we've been saying, if you just paused it, you probably wouldn't know what one you're looking at a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Whereas in this film, yeah, every single Spider-Man and version, and you've got one that's in black and white, you've got one that's literally drawn as an anime character, you know, you've got so many different art styles, and you know, a pig, the spider pig, you know, just like, yeah, it's or whatever, it's Peter Porker. Yeah, it's just so fucking awesome that they can just have them all going crazy, as Fraser said, with all this debris and crazy effects going on of the, you know, the multiverse breaking around them and shit, and you still see everything that's going on because they focus well on it and they get the right colors and the right stuff. Yeah, it's freaking dope.
Yeah. Like even like the plot lines of the story, I mean, I won't give any spoilers away, but even like the typical Spider-Man becoming Spider-Man scene that happens, the way it happens in this movie, did you expect it to have the way it happened? Because I wasn't expecting it the first time I saw it, and obviously when it happened, I was like, oh fucking shit, yeah, of course that makes so much sense because it's still a Spider-Man story. But I just was not expecting it the whole time throughout the movie.
Are we gonna avoid spoilers?
I feel like people should
we
have
can say
watched
spoilers
it.
for everyone who watched it. Rikesh, come on, mate. This isn't a spoiler-free fucking conversation about Spider-Verse that people who haven't seen it are going to listen to. If you haven't seen it, you know,
go watch it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I can't say that I was sure what was going to happen. He still loses an uncle, obviously, but his uncle was a villain. He's stuck in like between a rock and a hard place, really. So, you know, it's almost just as bad as what Peter Parker might have gone through, because he would because he would sort of go to his uncle to like sort of get away from his controlling dad, and just get a bit of freedom, and then just to realize that this person that you idolize is actually a villain on the side, and that you've had to fight him, and then, you know.
And he's terrifying. Like he fully scared the shit out of Miles. Like when he starts chasing
sound
the song,
effect.
yes,
that klaxon sound, it really puts you on edge.
Yeah, yeah. And the fact that he chased his nephew, like obviously he didn't know it was him at the time, but Miles has seen who he is, and he's like, oh my god, and then gets hunted down by him, and he's like running for his life. I mean, yeah, that's way more traumatic than, you know, Uncle Ben getting shot.
Is a big reflection of like being like, he lives up to his name, the Prowler. Like he will literally prowl around you, man. He's got that presence.
Yeah, that whole chase scene is amazing.
But like, what I would say, what I find interesting about Miles Morales' story, and especially focusing obviously on this film, is Spider-Man becomes Spider-Man because of sort of a freak accident, which leads on to a sacrifice, you know, great power, great responsibility, learning that lesson, realizing he could have possibly stopped his uncle's murder because of the robbery, and so on and so forth. So it's like a big moral to it, and he kind of evolves in a very
guilt
big
trips
way.
Himself, doesn't he?
Kind of like he still agrees with his morals. I still think he would have done the right thing, but you know, you learn a lesson in that. But Miles, and like you guys kind of pointed out, where his transformation was in like segments, in the sense of, oh, the role model to be good, or great power, or great responsibility, good morals. Like he had his dad for that. He also existed in a universe where a Spider-Man existed. He had a role model of, this is what a Spider-Man does. This is what you do with these powers. This is how you lead that life. And his sacrifice, or not sacrifice, but his loss of his uncle, obviously wasn't necessarily his fault. So it wasn't that same sort of guilt trip, but it was that sort of dark patch, that dark punch that the storyline needs to give him a bit of depth, and that sort of moral emotional depth and understanding. But in between all of that, in the middle is, and we've already touched on, is that middle lesson is take a leap. That's what he had to learn more. It wasn't, oh my God, I can't let this happen to my uncle, any other uncle or parents, or, oh, I've got these superpowers. No one else has it. I need to be the best version I can be. It's like those areas were kind of circumstantial or already present.
Yeah.
Whereas his middle line was, well, you know what to do with powers, and you've lost someone, and you want to do something about it. And that's why he's got other superheroes, other Spider-Men around him that kind of, even when Peter's like webs him up and it's like, you're not ready for this. You're not ready. And he has to make that internal choice to like almost like self-confidence, self-esteem to be like, I can do this. I need to take a leap. I need to trust that I can. And I think that's his biggest challenge for him as a Spider-Man in this film compared to sort of the other little things scattered around.
Yeah. Completely agree with that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old is he in the film? Miles.
I don't think it gives like a specific age. I think it's like 14, 15, I think is what it was saying when I was researching. 14,
I want to
15.
say 15.
Because I think in the comics he was 12 when he got his powers, which explained a lot more of the fear and stuff of just going out and doing things because he was like really young. I think he was 12. I think he was the youngest Spider-Man. I
Wow.
remember seeing something about that. But yeah, that would explain his fear more. So, I mean, it's still 13, 14. He's still going to be scared of shit, you know?
Exactly.
He's apparently
13.
14 in the film.
14.
Yeah, 14.
Even so, imagine being 14 years old and you suddenly get that. He says it like in the very first line, right? When he first meets the Spider-Man of his universe, and he's like, Spider-Man says to him, I think you're like me. And he's like, I don't want to be. He's like, I don't think you have a choice. And that's it. Like, he's like, shit, he's right. I don't have a choice. Like, I've got to be Spider-Man. And because he has like his dad's like he's a police officer. He's already got that inspiration and that good moral compass for it. So it just kind of helps guide him. But the story is about mostly becoming the Spider-Man, like earning that right, you know?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think that's a different, like you said, like there's a pre-existing Spider-Man, so he's already got a standard to hit. But especially in this universe, that the Spider-Man that dies in his universe, from what I could see and tell, he was like the picture perfect Spider-Man. Like society loved him, the city loved him. He was on top of everything. Like he could do no wrong. Like he was like not just an example, but a prime example to live up to be like shit. It wasn't like the other Peter B. Parker, where sort of the more Peter Parker that we know, where people love him or hate him, sort of vibe.
Yeah, it was a bit of a Captain America looking Spider-Man, wasn't he? Like,
Yeah,
he was a bit more blonde hair, blue eyes, like the perfect kind of USA, soldier.
Perfect life kind of going on, yeah.
Cool.
Right,
Got about 3 minutes. Should we just quickly wrap up this session?
Let's have a little ad break, guys.
Ad break.
Sweet.
Oh my god, it's an alien terror attack. Call the Spider-Man, we need help.
I'll save you, civilian.
Oh my god, Spider-Man! It's Spider-Man, we're saved!
I know, I'm not Spider-Man. I'm an alternate version from a different universe. I'm just a man called Spider.
Oh? Alright, can you please just help us? We're kind of in trouble over here.
Yeah, no, I don't really think I can help, to be honest. But hey, let me call upon another alternate version of Spider-Man.
Wait, no, where are you going?
Yo, what's up, fellow followers? It's your boy Spider-Gram.
Did you just say Spider-Grab? Like, instant grab?
My guy gets it, followers, the highest trended superhero on social media. Oh my god, have you guys tried NordVPN?
NordVPN? Sir, I don't think this is the time. I'm not one to tell you how to do your job, but can you please just save us?
Hold up, Spiderheads. Let me call upon another alternate version for this civilian in distress. BRB.
Mr. Grab Spider, sir, I don't think you can say BRB. Can you please just help us? My son is trapped under that car over there.
Rally to fair, wider man is here. Wider than your average man.
Well, yep, we're fucked. Should have moved to Canada. Goddamn Spider-Man.
Into the Spiderverse. Last reserves. In cinemas, January 41st. Experience in 12DX.
I'm gonna edit that out.
Keep going. Welcome back, guys, to the Red Jacks On podcast. So just carrying on from where we was, I'm going to give you a little bit of trivia about the movie before we carry on. Move on to the next one.
Ooh, juicy
Trivia.
So we already kind of mentioned it. The Prowler's horn theme that we heard is actually based off an elephant They've digitized an elephant's trunk thing because I wanted to make it sound scary but kind of sad. If you felt that way. The bagel
Interesting creative choice.
animation.
The what
The
animation?
bagel animation. You know when
Bagel.
he throws the bagel and he hits the
Yeah,
bagel,
yeah. Sorry.
the bagel. Apparently, when that was passed around in the team in the development of the movie, that was like just noted as a joke. But the animator who actually got that took it seriously and actually added it in there. But they loved it, so they just kept it in the movie.
Amazing.
Which is kind of cool. And it was recently revealed that by the filmmakers that it took about 800 people total over 4 years to make this masterpiece. Of that 800, there was 180 animators, which was the largest team of animators Sony had used to date. And it was reported that just 1 second of the 117-minute long movie took an animator about a week to complete.
Jesus.
1 second?
1 second of the
No
movie
way.
took up an animator 1 week to complete. That's fucking wild.
That's a labor of love. Like, how does someone like Sony, how do they take like this, basically this massive risk with all these people and all of this attention to detail?
They must have
crazy.
known it was going to pay off. They must have known it was going to pay off because that's a huge gamble for it to take that long. They must have known they got something special in their hands, man. Because this film was honestly just incredible, start to finish.
I mean, the story is really good. So if they had a script first and maybe like some drawings, like, you know, some timeline drawings, like basic sketch, maybe they could have gone, oh, okay, this could be a good angle for us because, you know, we have Spider-Man and obviously the MCU is kind of taking over our Spider-Man sales at the minute. So let's try something different.
Yeah,
but yeah, that is a big risk, isn't it, man? 4 months per second. That's insane. I mean, I know it's like 25 frames or whatever frames they're using in whatever scene, but
yeah,
that's probably why every single fucking like thing you can screenshot is perfect.
it literally
nuts.
is probably the reason why.
Especially because they weren't just doing it; they were establishing that style. It wasn't like a preset. It wasn't something they could touch on or their own tools. They're like creating it as they go, adapting it, like trying out and experimenting. And I'm sure that process in of itself took a while because I think like I would agree with Chaz in the sense of obviously they had the comic books to lean on. I would imagine they must have had a good script or a story to be able to say, right, all of this stuff is set and, you know, we've got a good thing going. We can do it standard animation. The name is Spider-Man. It will sell. Let's focus on the visuals now. Let's just focus on the animation. Like, there's no way they would have gone, we don't really have a story. We don't really know this. It's a bit of a gamble. And let's spend so much resource and time just on the look of it without really knowing. Like, I wouldn't be surprised, but it feels like this was one of those few times where it didn't feel like too studio-based. It's not the name trying to sell a brand. It was people trying to sell their passion project to publish it and, you know, cinematize it.
Yeah. It goes one way or the other, and I'm glad it went this way.
Yeah. Like whatever their decision making behind it was, I'm glad they did it this way because it paid off. It clearly paid off. I think the budget for it was like under 100 mil. I think I could be wrong on that. I think it grossed like 380 mil total. So I think it like quadrupled whatever
it deserved more. It really deserved more.
This film is just so good.
Did we all originally watch it in the cinema? I don't think we watched it together, but did we all go to cinema to watch it? I would imagine so, right?
I saw this in the cinema. I can't remember if I don't think I watched it with you guys.
I don't think I watched it in the cinema.
I don't think I did, you know.
I think I watched it online, probably.
I'm mad.
I don't know why, though.
Oh, no. I went and watched it with my uncle in the cinema. I remember that moment because my uncle was like, I don't get it. Is he Peter Parker or is he not? And I had to literally sit there and kind of explain, like, there's multiple universes that have extended off of Peter Parker. I remember having that conversation with him. So I went to cinema to watch it and fucking no regrets.
I mean, it was a great movie to go cinema for. It was worth it. This is definitely a good cinema movie.
I could watch that, and I have, on my phone and still be like, yeah, I'm so satisfied.
Yeah, I can't.
Not the first.
How many times I've watched this film is crazy. But this film was released in cinemas on December 19th, 2018. And the great Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, rest in peace, both of them passed away that exact same year. Ditko passed away on June 29th, and Stan Lee passed away on the 12th of November. So this would have been, and it is, the last cameo he would have ever done in any Marvel film ever.
Well, live, not AI, not pre-recorded.
Oh, I mean, yeah. But,
yeah.
I remember the day he passed away. Like, I think it was me and Fraser was walking to your house then, because I think we was all going to meet up that same day. And we was walking down the road, and I remember like I got a notification on my phone. I was like, "Oh, what is this?" I looked at it, and I was like, Stan Lee had passed away, and I was just stopped in the street, and I was like, "What?"
I remember that. And I stopped and I looked at you and I was like, "What?"
I was like,
What's wrong?
Stan, oh my god! Then we got back to yours. I'm saying, I told you guys what had happened, and then we was all like, "Shit!" We was all just stunned in silence for a bit. And I think we kind of agreed, all right, yeah, we're going to do a podcast. So we got to talk about Stan Lee for a bit.
We did. I
remember doing a podcast on Stan Lee.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah.
That was crazy, man. That was a bomb dropped that day.
Got to dig that one out.
Yeah. But in light of his passing, obviously this film was released kind of coming up to it. Every single animator who worked on this project, they all wanted to draw Stan Lee. So if we watch the movie, anytime you see a train that goes past, if you pause the movie at any point, you are more than likely going to see Stan Lee on the train at any point in New York, which is a really nice kind of touch that they put into the film.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Do you remember seeing the number 42 around in the movie?
Yes.
So there was a lot of 42s thrown around, and like some somewhat kind of obvious, some were kind of subtle. If you remember them, like the spider that actually bites Miles has alchemist.
Is the number 42? Yeah. Now that you say it, yeah. What's the meaning?
So the number 42 shown throughout the movie, the reason behind it is it's an homage to Jackie Robinson's jersey number, who played for the Brooklyn Dodgers. Ramsey, one of the film creators, he said in an interview that Jackie Robinson was a barrier-smashing black superhero in baseball, and Miles is a color-smashing black superhero in Spider-Man comics. So Robinson was the first black man to ever play on a major baseball league team, and he was an infielder for the Brooklyn Dodgers from 1947 to 1956. So they felt like for an amazing pioneer for black color, that's why they gave Miles that 42 subliminal message everywhere, because he was like, that spider was from that universe, from Jackie Robinson, and it chose Miles for his greatness, I guess, in like a way, which is
awesome. That is awesome. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, man. I think there's just so many little things about this movie that make it so good. Like even when you watch it the first time, you can watch it back the second and third and fourth time, and you'll still find little details all around the place that you hadn't noticed the first time, and it just adds to the value of the movie.
It's personal touches, isn't it? And it just gives the film its own soul in a way.
Yeah, it really does, man. It really does.
Well, exactly as you said, though, every animator wanted to draw Stan Lee, but like, you know, it also took, you know, however many weeks or months to create 1 second. You know, they've got all day where they're just drawing things. They're gonna throw in personal stuff, and you can really tell, like, any time in that film, as you said, like you can spot something new. I think you could watch it 100 times and you still wouldn't have seen every little detail. I think it'd be impossible without doing a frame by frame, like Where's Wally of little trinkets to find. You know, I bet there's just hundreds in each frame. Yeah, it's awesome. It's so cool.
If they're doing it like second by second, I know that I can imagine grueling and time consuming, but that means that every frame, I know we keep coming back to this, but every frame as an artist becomes personal. Like you're looking, imagine for 4 weeks looking at the same picture and just adding a little bit, taking a bit away, adding that color. Like it's like painting. You know, you've painted the whole portrait for weeks and months. You're going to put your heart and soul into it. Now times that by every second in the film with 180 different people doing the art style.
Yeah,
it shows. I hope I'm not taking your trivia away, Rick. But obviously, I'm googling as I'm talking.
No, go for it. No, go for it.
Something I actually never really noticed that made sense. I don't know who Peter Ramsey is, so I'm gonna name drop this guy. But it's just some trivia from the film that it was Peter Ramsey's idea to hold off on the visual comic language being like word bubbles and panels and whatnot, as we were talking about, until Miles is bitten by the spider.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. I never noticed that there was a point it triggered. My brain was like, it's always there.
No, I swear he like makes a point of talking about it and being like, why can I hear my voice so loud? And yeah, I don't think he maybe mentions the visuals, I guess.
No,
I think it's
kind of
insinuated when he's like,
when he's walking down the hall and he's like, why are my thoughts so loud? Like he turns around and he sees like the speech bubbles. And he's like, he looks around like, what the fuck? But it's like a very quick scene and he just kind of skips on. So it can
quick
be
scene that took years.
Yeah. Across the Spiderverse, number 2. Do you guys know anything? Have you seen the trailers for it yet? I'm guessing we've all seen the trailers.
I've watched the first trailer and the last trailer. I don't mind knowing anything more extra, but it's one of those films I'm like, I don't need to. I don't feel like the trailers have already showed way too much, in my opinion. But I don't feel the need to know anything more than anything.
Yeah, because we're gonna watch it.
Yeah,
we're gonna see it no matter what. So anything that the trailer shows you is like, I don't need to see it. I'm gonna go see it. You don't need to entice me. I've got a ticket. I'm going. I don't want to see it. I'm gonna pay to go see it. I don't need your free fucking charity. your little scenes that you're chucking out. So I don't want it.
They're good trailers. Like I don't think they give anything away really. Like we know obviously the whole like the Hall of Spider-Man or whatever they are. They do turn on Miles, but we don't really know why, or we don't know why. What's his name is Miguel
O'Hara. Yeah.
Miguel O'Hara. We don't know why he's been the way he is, really. But yeah, it's definitely one to watch. It's
yeah. I mean, like I've got notes on it, but if you'd rather not know, then we can just keep it. we'll keep it quiet, and then we'll just go watch it, and then we'll do like a review of it later, and we'll do that.
Well, let's do a bit of column A, bit of column B. You can talk about it, but we're still going to watch it and do a review anyway.
All right. So
we're definitely still going to.
What I did find.
Everybody dies.
The end. So Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099, plays a major role in the sequel, leading the Spider-Force. And Spider-Force are a group of spider people from all over the multiverse tasked with defending its integrity, which kind of sounds like a Loki thing, like a TVU?
TVA.
TVA. Yeah, so it kind of sounds a bit like that. But yeah. Against all expectations, Miles finds himself at odds with both the Spider-Force and Gwen when they discuss how to handle the threat of an extremely dangerous villain called the Spot. He was in the trailer as well.
Yeah, he was in the trailer, yeah.
I think he was in the animated series as well, of the original Spider-Man series. The Spot, I swear he was.
He was. Yeah. I think I remember, maybe not in the original, like the OG 90s one, but I remember him in one of the animated series.
Yeah, maybe you're right, yeah.
I think the Spot is completely new to me. I don't think I've seen it. But when I saw him, I thought it looked like Rorschach. I was like, what is Rorschach doing in the Spider-Man film?
Spot is the one that can like chuck like portals.
A spot from his body, yeah, and it's a portal. Yeah,
it's dope.
That's new to me. But yes, I think this movie, it's set across 5 different entire universes. So there's Earth 65, which is Gwen's universe. The city of Mumbattan, which is Manhattan, but in Indian Mumbattan, which is the home of the newly announced Spider-Man India. Let's go.
Nice.
Nueva York, Spider-Man 2099's world, and a 70s-inspired New London, which is Spider-Punk's turf, which is like a new character.
Dope.
So yeah, and there's another universe which is being kept under wraps. So whatever that could be is still a secret. We'll find out. We'll find out.
Okay.
God damn.
Kind of looking forward to it. I'm excited to watch it, but I'm kind of also dubious because the first one was so good, and it's a bit like I'm always kind of scared of sequels. Like, will they try and just level it out, or will they try and be like, we got to top it, and then try and do too much and then it falls short. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, I think this
So-
is one of them projects that has been given a lot of time. Like, you know, as you said, it took like 4 years to make the original one. I think they are given the time to make it perfect. So, it kind of is a double-edged sword when you think about it, because if it does suck, you're going to be like, you spent how long did it take
5
you to come
years
up with
now,
this, and you
for
still fucked it up? You know what I mean? Yeah, like I think they're going to knock it out the park. Personally, I think it's going to be incredible. Visually, it will be incredible. You know, it's going to be a 10 out of 10 visually anyway.
Yeah.
Like before you even go in there, but then. You know, there are characters we already know and love from the first ones, and they're going on a wild adventure. I think no matter how bad the writing is, it's going to be a good romp. You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, it's the first one came out in 2018. So if it took them 4 years to make that one, it's taken them 5 odd years, 4.5, let's say, till release date to kind of make this one. And I think I kind of agree with Charlie in the sense of visuals and stuff like that. Those sort of little visually appetizing and attractive qualities will be there. That's preset. I don't have any trepidation. I don't really have any doubt. I just be like, the storyline's either gonna, as long as the storyline justifies itself, it's fine. I'm okay with that. If it does more with it, I'm on board. But I'm not going in with too much expectation or doubt. I'm just gonna go in and be like, I'm just gonna go in like blank. You know, I just want to enjoy it for what it is. The only thing I wouldn't want is them to be like, it's a success, churn it out, and turn it into a machine. It will lose the heart and soul of it. And that's the only thing I really wouldn't want.
Yeah, that's the worry I have as well, because you know, we know the animation's going to be there. We know the quality of the art style and the cinematics and everything is all going to be there. All the action is going to be there. But I think, and going back to our Marvel podcast, I feel like our favorite like films come from where the characters go through like a good journey and get developed really well.
For sure.
So I can't see at the moment how Miles or Gwen or even Miguel might go through like a captivating journey. I'm not sure if it's just going to be about, we've got all of these Spider-Men. Look at this one, he's wacky. Look at this one, he's cool. Look at this one, he's new. So I hope it's not on that kind of flex. And I do think it's going to be like a high-rated film. It's going to be highly rated.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to top the first one, because the journey we go through in the first one with Miles and everyone else, even Kingpin, even Miles's dad and his mum, like I think those are what make good superhero films now for us.
Yeah.
I think it needs exactly that kind of Captain America 2. I think Miles needs to come out swinging, like banging, like, you know, proper, just like knocking up people, just bang, 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 bang. Not knocking them up, that sounds like just getting them pregnant. Going around just knocking people out, and you know, just like kicking ass. Like he really needs to come out just like, oh damn, he is in full whack, like he is doing it. I think that's what they need in this film, because obviously the first film is his journey, which is, and that's it. It's a really good story of his growth. So this one, I think he needs to come out really confident and like ace in the game, but then something bigger comes along, and it's like, you have to be even better, Miles. You have to be even better than your best. And I think that would be a good journey for him. I think something along those lines is probably their best shot, because if they carry on with him being like learning, I think it would just long out the whole journey of whatever they're going for.
Yeah.
I think it's like halfway between what you're saying, Chaz, like, because if something bigger comes along, he still needs to learn to get past it. And I think for me, it's like, what was the last live action Spider-Man film with a crossover? And Doctor Strange. What was that film called?
No Way Home.
No Way Home? Right?
It was Homecoming, Far From Home, and then No Way Home. Yeah.
No Way Home. So what No Way Home done well, which I think was led to its success, apart from the visual element of, oh my God, these, you know, nostalgia and previous Spider-Man crossing over, which I loved.
Yeah.
The core of it was still a human journey, which what Spider-Man always is. Spider-Man wasn't like, I've got this superpower. and look how amazing I am, and that's why people connect. It's like, oh, I'm the nerd that's not really socially accepted, or I don't know how to fit in. I've lost people because of this. I've had to make sacrifices, and you know, if it wasn't for my power, I wouldn't be here. I would have lost my uncle, and it's all of those like human factors around his superpowers, and that's what like No Way Home done, in the sense of it starts off with him going to Doctor Strange because he's got a dilemma of, look, real life problem here. People know who I am. It's affecting the people I love. All right, cool. It justifies why he goes in that direction. Goes wrong. These people come, and it's not, like I said, not just a spectacle Spider-Man. He goes through his arc. He loses his Aunt May. He goes through the great power, great responsibility. And now these other Spider-Men who've already gone through it in different ways are kind of like mentoring him. They're kind of catering to him in his journey, and it justifies itself. It's not just selling itself on a name. It's like if Peter Parker, if Tom Holland did not have those other Spider-Men, he wouldn't be the Spider-Man he is today. He would have killed Green Goblin. He would have become a different, darker version of himself because of this loss. He wouldn't have learned that lesson in the way Spider-Man needed to. So it's again that sort of, oh, there's other Spider-Men and there's all this, but it's around his dilemma, around his a human problem, and that's the thing that the only thing I would want from this number 2 is still the heart. You want to go big and crazy, that's fine, but just not for the sake of it. I don't care if it's not, not just for it can be a spectacle, but around a real dilemma, not just people saying, I missed you, or you've crossed the line, or you've done this wrong. It's like, what's the human component that we could all connect to and be like, oh my God, like if I was in your position, I get it, but at the same time, I wouldn't want to be you. Rather than I'm watching a superhero that I have no understanding of, and he's going through some shit, and it looks cool, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Do you reckon there'll be any cameos? I was kind of hoping for a Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire cameo, or possibly even a Tom Holland.
That would be cool.
It's kind of been low-key hinted that Tom Holland might have a good Easter egg at some point in this film.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because they've got a lot of Spider-Man in this film. I think the first one, they had I think 40 different characters that they needed to draw. For this one, they've hired, now this could be wrong, but when I read it, it said 1,000 animators. 1,000 animators. I don't know if that was supposed to be 1,000 people total working on the film, but when I read it, it said 1,000 animators. So whatever number it is, they've got a lot of people working on this film.
Even more than last time.
And they've got
a longer runtime.
I think it must do. It must do, because this film,
and a bigger budget.
A much bigger budget. I think this film's got the 5 universes that it's set in, and as opposed to the 40 characters from the first film, there's now 240 different characters to draw, which would make sense why they've got so many animators, and they have every possible iteration of Spider-Man that you can think of in this movie at some point. So yeah, it's going to be a big one.
Possible cameos then.
Yeah,
I think Tom Holland would be amazing. He's got a really good voice.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a very
Spider-Man voice. I think all the Spider-Men.
This would
Andrew
be
Garfield had a good accent, so did Tobey Maguire.
Yeah. I don't think Tobey Maguire did. Tobey Maguire just always sounds like Tobey Maguire to me. I can't, not to cuss him, he's good, but I guess. But just to touch on the time, the first film was 1 hour and 40, and this new one is at 2 hours 16.
Okay.
Obviously with credits.
That's a sizable difference.
Yeah.
Could I ask you guys? 20 minutes. Could I ask you guys a question?
No.
Well, thanks guys for listening. Son of a beep.
Go on, mate. Go on. Ask your question.
This film came out in 2018. The Spider-Man game on PS4 also came out in 2018. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, I think the film came out just before the game did. When I got introduced to that Miles, I was like, that's Miles, that voice, that style, even the art and all of that and his journey. And then I got reintroduced to him again in the PS4 game version, slight tweaks and differences. still equally acceptable. Liked him in a different way. I know he wasn't the main character, but I'm just kind of wondering, and obviously it led on to his own individual game of Miles Morales, and what you guys felt, because you had two Miles really introduced into the zeitgeist and into your lives in two different ways, in two different mediums. I'm just wondering if you felt differently in terms of,
And that was in
watching
a
it
very
and
short
playing it.
amount of space as well. That we
Very
got to
short.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that's a
within the
good
same
point.
year.
It's a good point.
I think it almost felt like, you know, should these be the same Mileses or something like that? But I think it was very quickly the Into the Spider-Verse Miles became the sort of the main Miles for me, and I think the other Miles, I mean, that Miles is in Peter Parker Spider-Man game, basically. Like you said, he's not the main character, even though he gets his own DLC, and he'll be in the second one as well. Is the second one out already?
Not
No,
yet.
I don't think
Oh, yeah,
so.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that one kind of took a back seat for me. Yeah, that's all I got to say on that. To be honest. Yeah, that Miles was yeah.
I feel like they kind of I didn't really think about it in that way until you just said it, because realistically it was just nice to get Into the Spider-Verse was a great film with a great Miles, and then the PS4 game, Spider-Man game, was also an incredible game.
Yeah,
and also had Miles, just a different version of him, the same way that, you know, I really enjoyed, you know, Spider-Man Homecoming, and the same way I enjoyed playing Spider-Man PS4. You know, there's like, you can just separate them and go, oh, I definitely prefer the Spider-Verse version, but I'm really still excited to play as Miles Morales in the new game. It's just a franchise now, you know. He's become, obviously he's not become the next Peter Parker yet, but he's already got two versions of himself that we're talking about now, and there'll be more. You know, there'll be other versions that come out of Miles Morales in the future and stuff, and he might become an OG at some point.
Yeah,
I think he could with the start he's had. I think he's getting there pretty quick. Like, he's going to be like a playable character on like fighting games and stuff like that. You know, I don't think he's going to be left out of any big things that come up from anything Marvel. So yeah, I think he's kind of solidified himself.
Let's be honest, in terms of business and exposure, like, Sony had a big year with Spider-Man. They're like, we're not only just not giving him back or sharing with Marvel, we've established ourselves in the movie world and or animation stuff and gaming world, like, and no one wants
our thing.
Yeah, but they've owned it. So imagine making that much of a film, and then the game comes out afterwards. Man, it just hyped everyone up more.
They really put the quality into both of those forms of media, which is a really rare thing.
Yeah,
Sony is surprising everyone. They are, because I mean, remember back like to Civil War and the whole talk about when Spider-Man was coming over and that, mate. I remember whenever someone spoke to me about it, I was like, I just fucking wish Sony would just give it up, give Spider-Man back to the MCU, because they're going to do a better job. But then you wouldn't have got Spider-Verse. You know, you wouldn't have got the PS4 game. You know, and there's definitely going to be more exciting stuff. It is kind of nice. It's refreshing actually, because, you know, now Marvel is having that downfall. We are worried that Spider-Man might go with it, but Sony's still got this one, so it's okay. We can kind of keep holding out.
I was going to say before as well, like, if they do manage to do a Tom Holland crossover into Spider-Verse, it will be like the first time we see them crossing over in that way from animated to a live action sort of media. Because we did, I don't know if you guys thought, but we did, I kind of thought we was going to get that with the What If. Like, it's in the same universe as the MCU and stuff like that.
Spider Strange.
But some of those animated characters haven't come into our main MC universe, and our main MC universe variants haven't really been in that. Like, they've just been sort of spin-off stories at the moment. One big spin-off story.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and I think we pretty much covered a lot of it, guys. Just to end it, though, I thought we'll do a little quiz, Into the Spider-Verse quiz. For each of us. Each of us, we're going to do a little quiz.
Play along at home.
Put your phone away, Sahan, you fucking cheater.
I'll put it on the side, Charlie. It's gone. It's away.
Fuck out the window.
Answer these questions and we'll reveal what Spider-Man character you're most like.
How are all four of us going to answer this at the same time?
I've got it. Don't worry. So I'm going to ask each of you. I'm going to ask all of you the question, and one by one, you just answer it. and then I'll do the rest.
Yeah,
It's
on the
time
podcast.
for the quiz.
Spider quiz.
Spider quiz.
Spider quiz. Everybody gets one.
So, what is your ideal vacation? Wherever the mafia isn't, Dubai, Tokyo, or New York?
Tokyo.
Why is there 3 locations, but where the mafia isn't?
I mean,
That's
does that mean the
so
mafia are in all these
random.
other places?
But if I say where the mafia isn't, the UK, I'm like, I'm already here.
Is that your
I'm
answer?
gonna.
Wherever the mafia-
No. Out of that list, I'll say Tokyo.
I'd say New York.
New York. Phrase.
Yeah, Tokyo.
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 Right.
What about you, Rick? You got to tell us as well.
Mine would be Tokyo for sure. Easy.
Okay. Bye, Charlie.
Ah.
Nah.
So,
I'm
what
walking
is your
here.
favorite meal? Burger and fries, waffles with strawberries and whipped cream, chicken flavored ramen, or hot dogs with extra mustard?
Oh. Do love a hot
What
dog.
was the ramen one?
Chicken flavored
Just-
ramen.
Chicken. I like ramen.
There's no chicken in
I'm
it.
gonna-
It's just flavored.
That's just weird to
it's
me.
a
I
hot
love
water.
ramen, man. I've got so much into Japanese food in Scotland. It's a lot more here than what I expected. So I'm gonna go with ramen,
Mhm.
You're gonna go with ramen.
mate. A big bowl of ramen.
I respect it. I respect it. Boys,
I go hot dog extra mustard.
hot dog extra mustard.
I love a hot dog, and out of all 4 of them options, yeah, I'd go hot dog.
I'm gonna go burger.
Burgers.
Burger.
I'll go
Burger.
burgers.
Mm.
All right. What genre of music do you like? Hip hop, pop rock, movie soundtracks, or heavy metal?
What was the first one?
Hip hop.
That list, I go for hip hop.
Yeah, same.
I listen to all those.
Yeah.
I do listen to. Do you know what? I'll actually go for soundtracks because I do listen to a lot of soundtracks,
And you
That's
create your
fair.
own as well.
That's
and
fair.
I do make my own. Yeah.
Right. Favorite school subject? Chemistry, art, calculus, or lunch?
Lunch.
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 Go on, phrase. Say chemistry or calculus.
Calculus.
School. You said school subject, right? As in like the lessons.
Yeah, like school subject.
So I would say art, but art class was pretty crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty shit. I thought you would go straight for like chemistry or calculus. I thought we were all thinking the same thing.
Chemistry. is
No,
not my
calculus
favorite
for phrase.
science.
Calculus
Chemistry
is more
was fun.
physics. Chemistry was only
I'll
fun because
go-
me and you would sit at the back, Charlie, and beatbox and sing, and
Hey, it was fun.
it was fun.
You were building your own chemistry.
Yeah. Ah. Layers.
So
Ew.
cute. So cute. So cute.
No,
Round of
I'll
applause
go
for that, that was
calculus.
good.
Go on.
You're gonna go calculus.
Calculus.
Yeah. of
What's a
course.
soldier? How would your friends describe you? Overly
We should answer this for
friendly,
each other.
Yes.
mature for my age, lively, energetic, or cynical. I hate everything. So
Overly
if we're gonna
friendly.
pick this,
Overly friendly.
so pick. All right. So we'll do Charlie's first. Well, how would you describe Charlie? Overly friendly, mature for his age, lively, energetic, or cynical. He hates everything.
I would say especially when I first met him, lively and energetic.
Yeah,
That boy
yeah.
had energy.
Agree.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fair.
All right. What about for Fraser?
It's bad. I want to do cynical. But it's
Do you know
not.
what? The only
That's what I'm
time I've
like
ever seen
now.
Fraser cynical or angry was just fireflies. Every time I hear it's enough.
Turn it off.
It's enough. Just turn it off.
I think 11 times in a row is. I
Mate,
think
I
that's
think it was
warranted.
more.
Too much.
It was more than
It
that.
was
We
more.
put that on repeat for so long, and friends. That's
We were in that room
correct.
for about 3 hours and it was on repeat.
Killed Fraser's spirit that day.
Uh,
What,
What
sorry,
were the
Rick,
other
what was
options?
the
One more time.
options?
Overly
Alright.
friendly, cynical.
Lively, energetic, or mature for his age.
Fraser is quite mature for his age. I mean, he always has been.
Freaking mature for
But
his
then
age.
he's silly as
Yeah, yeah.
well. He has a
No, no,
silly
no.
side. But
No,
Only
he
because
was
you guys
mature.
forced me to.
That's true.
No.
Yeah, we did.
Someone had to be. Yeah, all right. For argument's sake, we'll go for mature for his age.
Yeah,
Alright,
I think that's fair.
What about for Turkish?
Overly friendly.
Yeah.
He is
Overly
friendly.
friendly.
Yeah.
I'm handsy. I want to buy stuff. I want to be close.
And so he's too friendly.
I am handsy. I'm just, you sit next to him. I'm like, yeah, I want to hold your
That's
hand.
molesty.
No, shh.
Hi, I'm so Han, I'm inside you.
Oh,
Why, how
God.
do you handshake in your country?
Oh, God.
And for me,
Cynical.
cynical.
Oh no, he's not cynical. He can be a dick, but he's not cynical.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll go with cynical.
cynical. I think cynical sounds about right.
It's mean, but it's probably the best option out of the four. So. Yeah, okay, cynical.
Which alignment applies to you the most? Preppy, gothy, nerdy, or a jock?
Alignment, you know.
Nerdy.
What is
Nerdy.
preppy?
Like, you know,
Is
like
that when you're perky?
Pretty and like,
Bit more prim and proper.
yeah.
yeah, like snobby kind of, I guess.
I would say maybe I would lean towards preppy. Not with the snobbishness, but like I feel preppy as a person, quite like OCD-ish and very scheduled and very
Yeah, I can see that for you. Yeah.
Fairs.
quite. I can be quite anal without being. Yeah, I knew it was gonna take a laugh, but that's the only word I could think of.
Anal.
It's your bum hole.
We're going to have to beep that out as well. Sorry.
How can you not say anal?
Oh, it's a description phrase. Don't be immature. Don't let us take away that description from you.
What would you say, Phrase? Nerdy, jockey, gothy, or preppy?
I'll probably go nerdy.
Yeah, that sounds
I
about
would
right.
love you to be gothy phrase. A gothic phrase.
I was only on the inside.
Gothic
Only
Fraser.
Yeah.
only on the
Really?
rock side.
That's the Fraser that
Nah,
writes in the death note. He
Pandora
just
is
sits with a
box.
blanket over his head and is like, I'm gonna get it. I swear to God. How do I
Fraser,
throw you?
we went to a gig, didn't it, Fraser? Didn't we go and see All American Rejects?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah. He had a rocky side. Ricky,
How
you
about
answering as well. What's yours?
What's yours, Rick?
I'd go nerdy, if anything.
Yeah.
Preppy, gothy, or a jock, I'd pick nerd, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I would have said a bit jockish, but yeah, fair enough.
Really?
A little
Nah,
bit,
not
not like in the
jockish.
sporty sense. No, all right, you're right. You're right. You're more nerdy.
We don't really use the
Yeah.
word jock over here either.
All right, what are your hobbies? Singing, dancing, and acting, drawing, painting, and listening to music, crying, sleeping, and trying not to call your ex, Sirhan, drinking egg
Thanks.
creams, and punching bad guys.
Punching
Wow.
bad guys. Wow.
Wow.
Hobby.
Egg creams and
Wow.
bad guys.
And punching bad guys.
I love that that's one option. Okay.
I like the drawing
Ah.
and listening to music one.
Yeah.
I'm a singy,
I'm
dancey, acty.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the first one.
definitely.
What's yours, Rick?
Music.
Listening to music.
Yeah.
Whichever one the word music is in is
Yeah,
obviously gonna go
Listening to
for it.
music? Yeah, that's me. That's me.
Rickish and Fraser, definitely.
All right, two more questions each, guys. Two more questions each.
Woo.
What is your favorite TV show? Naruto, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, SpongeBob SquarePants, or Black Mirror?
I expect that. Ooh.
Yeah, these ones are a bit weird.
Naruto.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna have to go with Naruto.
Yeah,
Out
but
of
they are
them
good
lot.
choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brooklyn and throwing Brooklyn in there was quite a tough one. Do love Brooklyn, but yeah,
but like
Naruto
Brooklyn
is.
made me laugh, but Naruto changed my life.
Yeah. That's the best way to put it. Naruto will
Yeah,
change your
fair.
whole way of being.
That's fair. All right. We'll do one question each, and then I'll give you the results. We don't get all the results at the same time. So,
Cool.
Charlie, what are your favorite colors to wear? Red and black, blue and red, black and gray, or white and pink? White and pink, I can see you in on a daily basis for sure.
What? White and pink.
White and pink. I think you look cute in white and pink.
Oh, thank you.
You're so cute. You're so cute.
I was
Adorable.
probably gonna say grey and white. To be honest, I think I wear pretty plain like colours like I'm wearing now. Black, white.
Black and grey.
Oh, you're naked right now, so it doesn't really make a difference.
He's always naked. Always naked.
Every Zoom, man, every poddy, it's like, oh god, here we go.
Charlie got Peter Porker.
Yes.
It might seem a little wacky at first, but deep down, you're still a little wacky. Although you're a little bit out of this world, you're still friendly towards almost everyone that you meet. Your friends enjoy being around you for your charisma and sense of humor, and you've never been one to pass up the opportunity to make a bad joke. That nails Charlie.
That really is
yeah.
you.
Nail on
That
the
is
You're a
head.
cartoon character,
That is
mate.
me.
If the rest of us are as accurate, can we do like a little, not challenge, but like a little, we put it on like a WhatsApp profile pic or something of ours for like a day or something?
Yeah,
Because it's
sure.
just,
I'm down.
mate, I'm gonna go on to you. That was
That was
like
actually
99%.
that
That's
was
really good.
That was pinpoint.
What
That
if
was
for all
pinpoint.
porkies?
Peter Porker.
Okay, here we go. Peter Porker.
Right,
Spider.
Fraser. Favorite colors: red and black, blue and red, black and grey, white and pink. Again, I think
I
you
think
look
we go.
adorable in white and pink.
I'll try it out sometime. I think black and grey. Yeah.
Black and grey.
Yeah.
Fraser got Penny Parker.
Penny
Oh,
Parker.
no,
Is
the
that the
anime girl.
Japanese one?
Yeah, the anime. Yeah.
Dope.
You're an exciting and energetic person, and often the smartest one in the room. Already fucking bang on.
Yeah.
You're probably an ambivert, meaning you are both introverted and extroverted at the same time.
Yeah.
You may
Oh
look
my
young-
god, that's so
This is
bad.
so you.
Oh my god.
You may look
That's-
young and
You would
innocent.
build your own spider bot as well. Like you would build the proper like
You
tech
already
suit
have
and
the
everything. I
blueprints.
believe it.
That's actually crazy. I've never ever
it's
heard
actually
anyone
And let's
describe
be
Fraser
honest,
that way, but that's
Fraser is the
perfect.
closest person to look animated, to look anime, like with the dreads and the look and the Viking banging. Oh my
Framing that
god!
next-
Already like the
Yeah.
fucking Fury
Yes.
character.
Yes, Fury. Yes,
may
that's
look-
what. Oh,
You may look young and innocent, but when someone threatens your friends, you're more than capable of taking them down.
Oh
That's
yeah.
That's Fraser. That's
oh
Fraser.
my
Yeah,
god!
that is
Oh,
spot
this is a good
absolutely,
flipping,
That
absolutely.
is spot on.
Good quiz.
Right. Serhan, same question. Red and
Uh,
black, blue and
Red
red.
and black.
Red and black.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see you're red and black.
Wearing it right now.
You also got Penny Parker.
Oh no.
You also got Penny Parker. Exciting and
that.
energetic. Often the smartest one in the room. Debatable.
I think Sam needs to
Debatable.
retake the quiz.
Start over.
I think
No,
dodge some of
no.
your answers there, mate.
Even I don't agree with that.
Just refresh. See what comes up.
Start again.
What? Right. If we don't agree with it, then what Parker Spider-Man would you guys assign me?
No, I agree. I agree with it. I remember what was said.
Really?
And I
Okay.
think intelligence can be measured in different ways, right? Like
Ooh.
you
No, it's
could
not
be
the intelligence part. It's the rest of it. It's all of it, really.
you need one
No.
to come up with like you needed to say like Kingpin or Prowler or something like that.
Kingpin. Jesus.
Wow.
No, I think
don't
I
think-
think it tracks.
I would say it's
I-
more of a Miles, you know. You're a bit clumsy, you're a bit of a goofball, but you are still cool. You know, I don't know. I would have put you in the Miles
Got that
area.
lovable energy to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wondered
Ah.
what that was. Yeah.
I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you. That's the biggest honor on this party today. But I know I
Rick, what's
accept
yours?
the description. I accept it as it is. But yeah, go on, Ricky. Pink and white.
I also got Penny Parker.
Oh, this is stupid.
Oh,
Fucking quiz.
it unraveled
I
really
can't
quickly.
believe it went so well for me and
Ruined.
Fraser.
No, Rikesh would be. I would say like
Noir.
Rikesh would be the Prowler. He's got the speakers, the music. He's got the swag. Like I'll be honest, it would
He
definitely be
steals
the Prowler.
stuff. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, he does
Still
steal stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Rikesh, oh my God, yeah, Jesus. You're my uncle, Rick. Oh my God.
I mean, the first two were solid, and then minus turns went a bit tits up.
I think you just didn't. it didn't refresh. It just kept it on Fraser's on the whole time.
Clicking. Just go on Google Images and just type the people we want and be like,
Fine,
this
like,
is
it's important to
you.
record. So there you go, guys. That was the Across the Spiderverse little podcast for us there. Give us a little refresher. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to add? Anything else you wanted to note to make mention of?
Soundtrack. It's fucking
Yes.
dope. Soundtrack is amazing.
I still
We've
listen to that
listened to
album to this day.
Yeah.
Dude, it's an
incredible.
Oh,
Yes. I love it all. Like, what's that danger?
It's so versatile, the soundtrack. There's so many different genres on
just take a leap,
this
Miles.
one thing. It's
Mhm.
great. It's crazy.
Do you know what? Just to, like, as the most update on this, I think the other day when I was watching the trailer for number 2, this is only like a week ago or so. Tanya walked in as I was watching it, and she was like, "Oh, what's this?" And I was like, "Oh, this is the trailer to a number 2 of a film that I really, really love." And obviously, she's doing that girlfriend thing. Well, if you love it, I'll love it, and you know, I'll kind of join you on this, and you know, let's watch number 1 together. But she also kind of stopped, and for the first time was just like pulled in, like, "What is this?" And I was like, "I know, right?" Because everything she sees is either like The Last of Us, God of War, like nice stuff, but very boy stuff, or traumatizing, Attack on Titan. She'd be like, "Oh, it's your thing. I'll listen, but I don't need to see it." But this was the first time she stopped, and I was like, "Yeah, wait, let's watch it." She's like, "I want to watch it." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna watch it. I'm gonna put it on tonight."
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, let us know if she enjoys it, because I imagine she will.
Well, if she doesn't, we're not gonna be together.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll find out because you'll be moving back. I get a knock at the door.
You're gonna
Like,
get-
she didn't like it, Charlie. She didn't like it. It's like, oh, come on, come in,
Coming
back.
back.
I don't even have to say it. It's just gonna open. I'm just gonna hug him, just be like,
You know when you get those news pop-ups on your phone, it's just gonna be like one of the articles gonna be like Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse ruined my relationship.
It's gonna be like top quiz. Is you and your girl made for each other? One question: does she like Spider-Verse? No. Next.
Swipe.
I mean, no, I love you, baby. Please don't leave me.
But yeah, that's it from me, guys.
GG's. Love to everyone. Missing you, thinking of you. Charlie, put on some clothes.
No, but I miss you too, and I will keep my clothes off.
And with that, we'll see you all
Typical.
next time.
And with that, we end the podcast. Thank you for listening, guys.
See you later, everyone.
Peace.
Peace out, guys.